Hey everyone, welcome back. This week we are revisiting a hot topic. We are talking about the old money aesthetic again. I made a video about this a couple of weeks ago, I think a month ago. I'll link it here. And it created a lot of fuss in the comment section. I never received so many comments. Good, bad, I received it all. So I thought it would be really interesting, instead of just me telling you what I think, actually taking those pointers that you gave me. So maybe things that I forgot to mention, things that I did mention that you do not completely agree with, and just put it out there. Maybe it'll inspire some people, maybe show you a few looks, and yeah, I think it's going to be fun. First thing that I need to get out of the way is a little disclaimer, because I did receive a few comments that to me were hilarious, but at the same time you kind of wonder where the minds of these people are, which is the allusion to me teaching you how to dress rich so you can fool wealthy people into believing that you are part of a social class that you are not. I said it on the other video and I will say it again. This is just a trend. It is a silly little trend that started on TikTok and that appealed to me because it has a lot of the elements that I like. So classic clothing and feminine styles, a little bit more traditional, more preppy, old world, a little European. I love that. You don't have to call it old money if you don't want to. I guess it was just something fun that someone did and it just went viral. It's the same as saying that if I am telling you to wear cowboy boots, you can fool people into believing you are a cowboy. We are just having fun. We're just dressing up, exploring fashion as one should. So let's all just calm down and see this for what it truly is, which is good old fun. Okay, now to the video. First thing that was super on your minds and that were in many comments is the concept of vintage and thrifting. For instance, Fee said that the best way to dress old money is in vintage. It's amazing what you can find. It doesn't break the bank. It's environmentally friendly. Sloan Chessman also said that to achieve the look, she stopped buying cheap fast fashion clothing and instead started doing a lot of thrifting for quality classic pieces that are going to stand the test of time. It allowed her to have beautifully curated wardrobe that is timeless and always in style. So yeah, vintage and thrifting is such a huge part of the fashion industry right now. 10 years ago, we did not have the access that we have today with technology, with social, with e-commerce. Now we are able to buy vintage from all around the world and have access to an amazing assortment of it. I personally am not the best person when it comes to vintage. I do stand by my point, which is the fact that fast fashion has been able to improve, but I do want to improve my vintage skills. I have been doing it with jewelry lately and have not regretted for one bit. I do feel like you get those pieces that are very unique and that are very well made because, of course, in the past things were made way better than they are made now. So absolutely go into vintage, go into thrift stores, garage sales. This year I will try really hard to be better about buying vintage garments, and maybe I will leave fast fashion to buy basics that are just for day to day and that I don't expect to last for a really long time. A lot of you have also mentioned pearls, so pearls with little black dresses, pearls with cardigans, pearls with gloves. Yes, pearls are everything. I love pearls. I have an obsession with them. I think that they are the most amazing gem. Very versatile. You can wear them in the evening. You can wear them during the day. You can wear them for a luncheon. You can wear them for a dinner. You can even wear them to school if you're like me. If you get a beautiful pearl strand when you are 18, you will be wearing that until you are 80 and you will always look appropriate. The power of pearls is so amazing that they can take a very masculine look. So maybe if you're wearing a very heavy coat, maybe you're wearing a blazer or a very structured shirt, You put on a strand of pearls and you immediately feel and look more feminine. It also takes a very casual outfit into something a little bit more dressed up. So maybe if you wear pearls with a sweater, with a jumper, all of those things can be elevated just by adding a little bit of pearl. So just to show a little bit of my collection, this one is very sentimental to me because my parents gifted me this necklace with a pair of earrings. So it was actually a set for my 15th birthday, and I just love how dainty and delicate it is. I remember wearing this and just feeling like the princess of Genovia. If you know, you know. And it made me feel so special. They let me choose it in the jewelry store, so it was like my first experience buying jewelry. It always brings me back so many good memories, and I always get so many compliments. This is a great style, so when you have pendant pearls to wear when you have a different neckline, maybe a sweetheart neckline or a v-neck. The latest addition to my collection is this little strand, and I love it for many reasons. I don't know how I lived so long without a simple strand of pearls, but I've been wearing this tons. This is the kind of thing that I would advise you to get if you never had pearls in your life. These are actually faux pearls, but since they are vintage, they look very real because they were really well made. So if you look at the strand, you can see how it was strung. You see the little knots in the thread, in the silk thread. This is usually how you thread pearls properly, so it looks very legit. I also love the clasp that it has, so it is very decorated with a sort of filigree finish. It has a little pearl in the center. It also has a safety closure, so if this breaks or opens, you won't lose your necklace. The way it falls, to me, actually really look like real pearls as well. The coloring is beautiful luster. So this just goes to show that you do not have to be a millionaire to get yourself a beautiful strand of pearls. And pearls don't have to be boring. If you want to be a little bit bolder and you want to make a statement, you can get yourself something like this, which in this case has a multitude of different shapes and different sizes of pearls. It has 7 strands, so a lot of volume and texture, and this is great if you're wearing a very simple top, maybe something that covers your neck slightly, and you just want something to finish it off with style. It is statement, but it is still classy. It's not too much, which I love. I also love the coloring. It's a little bit more gray, so not too classic, not too expected, just a little bit of a twist on pearls. And speaking of pearls, and specifically of faux pearls, someone commented that they do not believe that it is possible to achieve this aesthetic with fake jewelry. I was about to answer, but then a lovely person called Jussie gave us a lesson on the history of costume jewelry. He basically says most classic jewelry pieces were intentionally fake because they were large and bulky. There absolutely is quality costume jewelry, and many of them fetch prices equal to jewelry of gold or diamonds. Many of the designer brands that make jewelry are actually making costume jewelry. So if you go to Chanel or if you go to Dior, you will be buying costume jewelry and not actual jewelry. He also shared an amazing list of many of the very classic and very famous costume jewelry designers. So Carnegie, Coro, Eisenberg, Obey, Schiaparelli. So yeah, the world of costume jewelry is a whole chapter in fashion history, and I do feel like there is this stigma about wearing fake jewelry, which is completely unjustified. I always receive compliments on my jewelry, and most of the time they are costume. I think it's much more about design and quality than actual price. For instance, I got these last month from Etsy. They are from a very famous costume jewelry brand called Monet, and they are just fabulous. Well made, very substantial. The stones are very well placed. It looks like nothing you would find today. Look at that. So it just goes to show that yes, you can absolutely look amazing with costume jewelry. Just a little example, the strand of pearls, faux pearls, that Kenneth J. Lane designed for Jackie Kennedy, sold for $200,000 in auction. Chanel and Vadura have this partnership that has lasted for decades and is one of the most iconic pieces or collections in the world of jewelry. Even in To Catch a Thief, remember Grace Kelly in the scene where she's laying on the couch and she's wearing this beautiful necklace? Those are not real diamonds. Audrey Hepburn's jewelry in Breakfast at Tiffany's, not real diamonds. Don't be afraid and absolutely do not be ashamed of buying yourself some amazing, fabulous, fantastic costume jewelry. EP left a comment saying that she would recommend Massimo Dutti for the old money European aesthetic. It's a little bit pricier than Zara. The quality is amazing. During sales, you can buy a lot of basics and blazers. Cuts and fabrics are perfect. She has 3 blazers that she got during the sales and she wears them all of the time. I love Massimo Dutti. I think they found that little sweet spot between price, quality, and design. If you are into a more classic, more streamlined style, you will be really happy with what they have to offer, and they make amazing pieces. I actually bought a few in the last couple of weeks, so I'm gonna show you them. One thing that I really love from Massimo are their knitwear, not only because of the design and the colors, but also the materials. For instance, this one is a very basic V-neck knit. It is a mix of cotton, wool, and silk. So it is really soft. It has this beautiful color, great base for any look that you want to layer. So this can be worn over a shirt. This can be worn as a top under a blazer or under a coat. Great to pair with jeans, great to pair with high-waisted pants. This is such a little basic that seems very boring, but that allows you to be very, very creative with it. Then the second piece from knitwear that I got is this one, which I am completely in love with. It is a cardigan style. It has the amazing golden buttons that are very, very old money in my opinion. I love the more boxy shape. I love that it is not too long, so looks great with skirts. It is this creamy color that pairs really well together with other neutral tones, and it is a cashmere mix. So it is wool and cashmere, and this I think costs $99.95. So you are getting a really, really high quality piece for under $100. I think it's pretty fair, and it looks super chic. Something else that I love from Massimo Dutti are their shirts, and shirts are absolutely key to the old money aesthetic. They give off that preppy, very proper vibe. And this one is a very simple Oxford in poplin cotton. It falls really nice. It feels substantial but not heavy. They do make them in so many colors, and not only in cotton, but if you are going into spring, summer and you still want to look very elegant, they have amazing silk options, linen. Have fun with it. And lastly, something that I love from Massimo Dutti, and I think this is where you would want to spend a little bit more money, so avoid the options from Zara and from H&M and go for something a little bit higher end, which are accessories, especially leather, especially silk. This one is a belt with a little detail that looks like a horse bit, very Gucci. Just one element works with pretty much all of your wardrobe, so you can wear this over a dress, over a sweater, on the loop of your pants. You can wear this to close a jacket. This type of item will go a long way. It looks really, really well made, and they make amazing accessories. Their bags are beautiful. Their belts are really good. Their shoes, I have a pair. They're not here, they're put away, that's why I can show you. I have a pair of loafers that I use to death every summer, and they are still perfect. So yeah, take a look at Massimo Dutti's accessories. You will not regret it. JND 06 30 says, old money is usually very casual. The exception is always quality fabrics. Some of the most wealthy old money people go out of their way to drive older cars, dress comfy and casual. No one wants to be liked for their financial ability, so being understated can help in the endeavor of surrounding yourself with genuine relationships, and this makes a lot of sense to me. There are old money people who are very glamorous. When we think about Jackie Kennedy, Mariella Agnelli, she was very old money, Gloria Guinness, they were all glamour pusses, but there are also those very wealthy people who are very down to earth and who have to take care of their estates. Like when you think about those dukes and lords in England that have to look after their castles that are falling apart because they have to spend huge amounts of money in property taxes, so they have to take care of their own farm and fix leaks, and they have to do renovations of stairwells and chandeliers that cost thousands and thousands of pounds. You start to see them in a more, let's say, informal light. And what comes to mind when I think about that is the classic English countryside aesthetic. Someone wearing a very normal jumper, maybe cable knit with a Barbour jacket, maybe that doesn't even belong to them, maybe that was passed down to them, practical pants, some wellies, and that's it. I mean, if you're going hunting, if you're going riding, if you have to garden, walk around a huge country estate, you're obviously not going to do that in a Dior suit. I mean, that makes no sense. So yeah, I actually agree with this. But even if you think about going the more casual route with this trend, I would add little bits and pieces of more glamorous elements. So maybe nice earrings, maybe a lipstick, maybe even a scarf, just to finish it off in a prettier way. Some of you have mentioned Gwyneth Paltrow's wardrobe in A Perfect Murder. That was lovely 8. And Luisa Teodoro mentioned Carolyn Bessette Kennedy. She exhales old money vibe, that she's a 90s queen. Yes, I agree. She was a style icon. I do like the 90s. I have to say I find it a little bit too minimalistic for me, but it is very streamlined. It is very subdued. What I went for here, and I think this is easy to do at home, was get a little bit of Carolyn Bessette Kennedy and a little bit of Gwyneth Paltrow. A very easy jersey black top with a leather pencil skirt, black knee-high boots, and a big kind of masculine feeling wool coat, all in black. I think that if you want to do the 90s trend in the more Donna Karan, Calvin Klein way, go for those neutrals and try to be as monochromatic as you can. And I feel like here cut is very, very important, so try and prioritize pieces that fit you well, that have good materials, that will speak for themselves in terms of quality, because you cannot hide behind any prints or behind fun textures. It is very, straightforward, so just keep that in mind. Cordelia Adams says, you forgot the navy blue blazer, a classic. Oh my god, I totally forgot the navy blue blazer. I'm crazy. I really love the navy blue blazer because 1, a blazer is a great transitional piece, but 2, the navy color gives off those nautical, I have a boat vibes that no other color does. I have this one from Another Stories that I got a few weeks ago. It is a little bit heavier, so I would not be able to wear this in summer, but I really do love how, 1, the blue is really, really deep. I also love the gold buttons and the double closure, the double breasting. I think is very, very elegant. If you want to find a more transitional option, you can absolutely get a navy blue blazer that is in a crepe or maybe in a linen, and wear it with your Breton striped shirt or with a white button down, even with a polo shirt. It reminds me a lot of that preppy Ralph Lauren aesthetic that is so classic and so easy to recreate at home. One look that was a little bit of a topic of discussion was the equestrian look that I did last time. Some people loved it and some people thought it was kind of costumey. Someone said that the outfit felt like a costume, and even more absurd with the thought of going to a restaurant in riding clothes. On one side, I do agree with you, because when the tennis trend came out, so those elements of tennis, a little bit more sporty preppy from the 70s and 80s, the v-neck cable knits, pleated white skirts, I really thought it was weird, because I play tennis and I wear that to play tennis. So when I see these things outside of a court, it seems like people are trying to play dress up. So I get that if you ride horses, when you see these elements, it's kind of, weird. But at the same time, how can you resist wearing riding boots and wearing jodhpurs and wearing beautiful tweed jackets with elbow patches? I like the elbow patches. I'm sorry, they are a classic. I really like that aesthetic. So for you equestrians, for you guys who ride, do you find weird when you see people in the street wearing something with horsebit or any of the other elements that I mentioned? Do you think it's weird? Let me know in the comments below. And finally, to wrap up this video, one topic that to me is the most important of all and is the one that will help you the most when achieving this aesthetic is the whole idea of quality over quantity. I know we all dream of having an amazing Cher Horowitz closet busting out at the seams with clothes. I do feel like we are being incentivized and pushed into buying a lot of things that we don't need and that we're never going to wear again, which is why I like this trend so much. Like I said, some people call it old money, but I see it as classic, I see it as timeless. So all of the pieces that I got to show you on this video or during my life that fit into this aesthetic are actually things that I wear a lot and that I know are going to stand the test of time, because they are not based on a trend per se. They are just a classic cut that will always serve me right. And just to prove my point, I've been wanting a Max Mara coat for a really, really long time. To me, it is very much an icon in terms of design. It goes well with what I think it's beautiful and with what I have in my wardrobe. It is that piece that when you put on, you don't need basically anything else. The materials are always going to be great, the quality. And this is where connections and tips from friends come in handy. I have this very, very interesting group of colleagues at work that know the ins and out of the fashion industry, and they presented me to Intrend. So Intrend is basically an outlet of the Max Mara group. Max Mara, Weekend by Max Mara, Max & Co, Sport Max, all of these brands. When it comes to the end of the season and they didn't sell their pieces, they simply funnel those remaining pieces to Intrend and they resell it without the original tag, but it is the same coat at a way lower price. So for instance, this year I decided to get this beautiful coat, which is 100% wool. Let's check just to make sure I'm not telling you any lies. 100% wool, and I am completely and utterly in love with it. Basically a little bit more trapeze. It has the closure almost like a duffel, but it crosses over so it closes up on your neck. I also love that the sleeves are a little bit shorter, so perfect for wearing with long leather gloves that I love. So it was sort of a delayed gratification. It took me about 4 years to get a more decent coat, but now that I finally got it, it was worth it. So if you can wait, if you can be patient, if you can save up your money and get a better version of what you want, be patient and get the better version. So this is it, everyone. These are the comments that stood out to me. There were a lot of other ones, and I feel like you have a bunch of great ideas. So I totally advise you to, if you like a video or if you are curious about something, look at the comment section, because the people who comment on my videos are geniuses. They always give me the best ideas. A lot of you have been asking me about the old money aesthetic during summer because you are in another hemisphere. I unfortunately have all of my spring summer clothes put away. I cannot show you that right now, but maybe I will do something similar in a few months. But if you like my style and you want to see how I dress in summer, I did do a lookbook about it that I will link it here, so you can go check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you liked it, and we'll see each other again next time. Bye!